All right, everybody, welcome to another edition of SWAC Smoke. Of course, I'm C Wells coming at you. Got DJ over here. He doing his thing. He on location in the car broadcasting. How you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing well, man. Just like you said earlier, multitasking.
Oh yeah, hey man, jack of all trades. Um, we ain't gonna waste too much time, man. We're gonna go ahead and jump into this. Let's talk a little spring football. We'll start with the game we both was at. What you thought about Southern's game?
Man, I don't feel like I know much more about that team than I knew coming into it. I just think they got a lot of work to do between now and the fall. I don't think a lot of positions are solidified just yet. I think I like what I seen out of Dooley. I like his energy, but I just feel like he's got a few more guys to get in for the fall, and he got a lot of work to continue to do to be where he want to be.
Yeah, I feel the same, man. It's like it, it it was a mixed bag. It's like you saw some good things. You saw some bad things. Um, some things I thought might be a little different weren't really, but um, I I feel like he knows where he want to go with quarterback. I think that's been to me. I think that's been decided. He said he's gonna wait and announce it in the fall, but I think just the way things went, I think McCray got a leg up, but there's still a lot of time, and the spring game don't dictate everything, so it's still a lot of lot of time for battles to be solved. But I think he knows what to work on now. You know what he got, and where he's gonna go.
Yeah, I think he pretty much said somebody quoted him saying that pretty much McCray showed him that he can win the ball game for him. So I mean that kind of lets you know where he want to go.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like um he hadn't really been too shy with who he really want to go with. Like I said, man, I'm not 100% sold on McCray yet because his game is such a thing that a game like that don't really dictate what he do. He's a runner, so he can't really get loose, or sometimes he get loose when he might have been down in a game. Um, I haven't really watched too much of his film. He didn't have the best numbers in JUCO. He threw I think 9 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. So he still got some decision making to get better on. But um, right now I don't see nobody on their roster as a quarterback that just got an arm that just makes you scared. As a defense. So we'll see. It's all a work in progress.
Yeah, McCray only been there what, a couple months maybe.
Yeah, I mean he just came in in I guess in January because he signed in December. So
Right.
he's still learning the system, and it just like I said, it's gonna I think it's gonna be a battle that honestly goes to the end. I mean, you can say one thing, but I feel like nobody's really taking charge. So hey, somebody, I wouldn't even be surprised if somebody came in the portal and he grabbed somebody. So I don't think it's 100%
Yeah.
settled, but I think it's there is a leader. I think.
Well, you move on to FAMU.
Yeah, and that's another one, man. I heard quarterback battle is pretty intense as well. Man, you need to tell me who that is, man. If you don't want to put it on here, you can hit me up later. But if we got a surprise candidate, hey, I'm more than welcome to hear that. But I heard, fam, you got a quarterback battle for sure, man. I think they are trying to let their McKay lose the job. Um, so we'll see. I know there's nobody. A lot of people not really not really sold on it. And I can respect that, man. You ain't gotta put it out. Just I'll keep my eyes and ears open for that. But what did you think about what you heard about that game?
Well, I just heard that that transfer from Vanderbilt kind of putting some heat on uh McKay. So I feel like I mean they got the receivers back, they got some running backs back, they got a lot coming back. You know what I'm saying? So I think that um if they could get a little bit more production out of quarterback, I think they would be definitely a force to be reckoned with again.
Yeah, I think this is a. I mean, like Willie Simmons said in an interview after the game, he was like, all our offense need to do is pick up first downs. He was like, he feel like his defense is strong enough to win games. Offense just needs to move the ball and don't turn it over, and he feel like they'll be in good shape. So, if they get a guy that can make plays at quarterback and not just manage the game, then the offense is going to be even more explosive. With a guy like Xavier Smith still there. So it's just I really think that they gonna be dangerous, obviously defensively, but quarterback is the I guess the hot button topic of any team. So if you got one, then you feel pretty good. If you don't, you just never know.
Yeah, I'm kind of I ain't gonna say sensitive about that, but I don't feel like the quarterback decides the team. But in their case, like you said, if you go from a game manager to somebody who teams have to prepare for, that makes a difference. The threat of you know them having to prepare, they make them play you totally different. So they
Yeah.
go from like A minus to A plus.
Oh yeah, and I think we all know TSU got a quarterback for sure. So y'all don't have that problem at all. Um, I'm actually kind of jealous of that. But a team, if you can get other parts to work, you can still win games. But I think quarterback is the position that a lot of people look at and they say, they need it. So I feel like if other pieces of your team are solid, you can grow your quarterback throughout the season. So I think it's just a work in progress, and most of us are like that. Most of us are like a work in progress, and those of you who are fortunate, enjoy it, man. Really enjoy it.
Well, there's always Trent Dilfers, Joe Flacco's, Matt Hasselbacks, them type of guys out there. You know what I'm saying? And you got the Dan Marinos and people that's been great at that position that's never won. So that's why I look at it as not, something that's I guess the most important. I get it;
Yeah,
it is important, but I don't think it's the most important sometimes.
it's not the end all be all, but if you don't have a great QB, then you better have a good defense, and a good running game. You need to have other pieces
There you go.
to get it because you need a threat somewhere. If you can't throw the ball well or throw the ball consistently, you need to be able to run it. Obviously, if you can't do that, teams are gonna try to take your run game away. But if you have a strong enough running game, you can kind of overcompensate for that. But you know, I, I I just all I want is a guy that I know it. A lot of people say game managers are bad, and I'm not a big fan of game manager. Game manager, I just want a guy that's not gonna make too many mistakes. Now, if he make aggressive mistakes, then you live with him. But sometimes you got to decide. If you're gonna have that playmaker type dude, gunslinger, he's gonna make some mistakes. So you got to decide if you want to live with those mistakes, or you want a guy who's never gonna take a chance.
You know, looking at the comments, everybody got their most important, but I mean, having and not to say that this Mr. Hart didn't play the sport, but having played the sport, I understand. I don't care how good you are, how fast you are, whatever. If your old line ain't blocking, your receivers ain't catching the ball, it don't matter who you got back there. So I mean, it just you got to look at the whole grand scheme of things. That's why it's the ultimate team sport. Like You ain't got no blockers. It don't matter who you put back there.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, you can look at it. I mean, you can look at Barry Sanders, one of the greatest running backs ever. Probably would have had a lot better numbers if he had a line. You know, Detroit never gave him a line, and you know he still put up crazy numbers because of his skill. But if he had guys that could really open holes
Yeah,
for him and allow him to get to the linebackers and secondary easily, he would have set rushing records. You know, so like you say, football is the ultimate team sport. I'm a basketball guy. You know, all you really need is one guy can take over a basketball game. You know, so you don't need people to go hand in hand like that. Now, if you got it, then it's great. But you know, football, all pieces need to work together because you can only go so far with with one guy on the team. So it's definitely one of those things that people kind of overlook. You know, line play on both sides, and kind of going with Southern. I think their O line is still pretty solid. I mean, of course, they lost a big piece, but the O line is pretty solid. Defensive line is question marks to me, and that's going to be the key for the defense.
yeah. I mean, it's cliche, but a lot of times the game is really won and lost in the trenches, and that's just a fact. You know what I'm saying? You can't protect your quarterback. You might well not have him.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you can't protect him, he better be a magician with his legs, man. So I mean, we started with JSU. I mean, Shador put up great numbers, but his line did him no favors. So he did a lot of
Nope.
running and scrambling and kind of just making good throws. But it's you every team can't do that. So I don't like for people to get into that habit of thinking that every team can do what they did. Run the ball for 70, 80 yards a game, and quarterback take a lot of hits. But um, it's just one of those positions that really it's the eye catching position. Let's put it that way. And going back to this comment, yeah, Southern linebacker play is definitely going to have to improve. They're going to have to get more solid in the middle of that defensive line. I think the ends are pretty solid, but the attack they lost their top defensive tackle, so they're going to need to fill that middle spot. And I think they might go in a portal for that. And basically all the way up the middle of Southern secondary, from the tackles to linebackers to the safeties, are gonna have to step up big time this year. But just
Well,
I want to switch gears real quick. Did you see the deal with the Houston Texans and Texas Southern?
yeah, I was just about to bring that partnership up. Man, I really think it's awesome. I mean, I was excited, like I was gonna benefit from it. I like that.
Yeah, I think that's a great move, and um, I'm definitely gonna be just jump on this comment real quick. I'm definitely gonna be at that game. I'm looking forward to getting up there to see that game. That's a big game for both teams early in the season. But that partnership is huge, man. They creating scholarships for women athletes. They are giving opportunities for professional development and internships. I think that's the kind of thing that you really need, to take advantage of being right there with a professional team, and I hope I know everybody don't have a pro team in the area, but you could have somebody somewhere that can help out. So I think that's a big move. I like it a lot. Yeah, and and just like this comment say, it's kind of one of those moves that it don't hurt them at all. It makes them look better. To people who don't really know maybe how they are with the city, it makes them look better. But like I say, if you can benefit from that, I think you take advantage of that opportunity, and you get what you can get out of it. So I like it, man. When I saw that, I was excited myself. I thought it was a really good move.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that kind of spreads a little bit. But like you said, people in Alabama, Arkansas, things like that, we don't have that luxury of having that pro team that close. But I mean, by the time TSU benefit from something, they deserve a little something.
Yeah, I think I mean, like you said, if you can't get that kind of opportunity, hopefully something else will come through. But TSU definitely deserves what they're getting, and they they definitely benefit. So this question was for you, DJ.
Yeah, so I was referring to high school ball, not college ball.
So yeah, he I know a lot of people already maybe heard it or didn't hear it. I don't know if you want to go into it or want to leave it like it is, but if not, we can kind of slide on.
Yeah, I mean, I just play high school ball. I mean, if you want to ask some more questions, you can. But
We got a little comment going about TSU playing on or off campus. Um, that's always been an interesting thing to me. I've personally never been to a game on TSU campus. Technically, I mean, when they used to play at Houston, but
so he's saying they don't need to be on campus.
yeah, I think he like it where it's at. I mean, man, a great facility. I mean, but you ain't no need to move away from now.
I played running back. Uh, yeah, I played running back majority of my career. Played receiver my junior year.
So, like I say, I think TSU got a good situation with where they playing at. I did see a comment that said that the portal closes on May 31st, so we still got a little bit of time for people to get in. A lot of guys going in now, coming off of spring practice from other teams, so you'll be able to get your pick of the litter. Yeah, I mean, I agree with this comment. Why move from where you at to play there? I mean, TSU playing a great facility. What? I think the whatever you would get if you move like a home field advantage or whatever is not even big enough to be a big deal. So I think it's cool. I mean, I like those orange seats they got in there. I would love to see more people in them, but I think it's a nice stadium.
Speaking of the portal, does Dooley have any social media?
He do, but I don't think he that active. A lot of his assistants are more active than he is.
I was just checking out. I seen when people be hitting the portal, folks be tagging Coach Prime, but I look for Doc Gamble, I look for Dooley. I can't find none of them coaches. So do you feel like that they're a little bit behind? Yeah, they still get recruits, but do you feel like they could be doing better if they're more active?
Yes, yes. I feel like we as far as coaches go, obviously Coach Prime is the top of the lick, and other than that, you don't really see anybody else even do anything. I can't even think of the last time Coach Dooley even tweeted. So I mean, like you say, they still recruit, but I think that's a good, people is a social media age, and I think that you need to take advantage of that in all aspects. And I think a lot of coaches not really doing well with that. Now I think assistants are doing really well with being active, but the head coaches, I think they still got some work to do. Speaking of coaches, TSU did hire their coach. Burnett Skeet. She was a coach at Texas A&M, played at Alcorn, coached at a junior college in Florida. She got a nice resume. I think TSU got them a really nice, really nice coach on hand, man. I think the program going to continue to grow.
Yeah, I mean, I see no issues with that hire. I think that was a good hire for them, and I think they're going. I don't think they're going to drop off. I think they're going to progress from here.
Yeah, I thought TSU women's basketball team was pretty dangerous by the end of the season, so I think they're going to continue to develop it and grow that program even more. So that was definitely a really good move. Nice low key job search, no real craziness going on. I wish every job search was kind of like that. You kind of know who you want, and you get them. And you get a good coach. That's got a good background, and hopefully can keep things going.
Everybody ain't so lucky when it comes to that. So
Oh yeah, I mean, we've all had, if you've been around any school long enough, you've seen your school hire somebody that they probably should not have hired, but
Yeah.
it happens, and we don't always have the best of luck with coaching searches. Sometimes we get lucky, like I don't want to like when Pete Richardson was up, well before Pete Richardson got hired, Southern was supposed to hire Houston Markham, who was Alabama State coach at the time, and he changed his mind at the last minute and decided he wasn't coming. And Southern reached out and got Pete, so I guess we came out better on that end. But sometimes you get lucky. But just to jump back to this social media topic, you really have to adapt or die, man. This comment here is real. It really says a lot. You really have to be able to fit in this world because that old time, is not there. And I think a lot of people are getting better with it as far as putting out information from practices or videos and pictures and those things. So I think teams are getting better, but it's still a long way to go. And it's when you got a guy like Coach Prime who is basically in that world all the time, it puts a bigger spotlight on everybody else what they're not doing.
Yeah, I 200% agree with that. And that's what made me bring it up. Like I asked you about, did you see the clip from today's practice? Like it fired me up. It makes me want to see him. And so if I saw that from everybody, you know what I'm saying? The chances of me wanting to buy a ticket here, buy a ticket there, it kind of social media age and all these videos kind of brings people closer, makes them feel like they part of whatever it is they're watching. It makes you more apt to want to see it. But just take, for instance, Bethune-Cookman. I never see or hear from them. So when I'm thinking about going to games, I'm not even looking at. They might happen to be playing somebody else that I want to see, but I'm not looking at their schedule because I don't know anything about them.
Yeah, I mean not to really pile on them because I give them a hard enough time as it is, but they have been practicing for like 2 weeks, and I didn't even know they had started spring practice. So it's just little things like that. When you kind of in a world where you want to kind of get information on what's going on at different places, you know, it really hurts, man. Like I'm a numbers guy, I'm an info guy. When you really do forget they here, man. They're really quiet. They really quiet. They're like that neighbor that you don't never know is at home until you see like the lights come on and like, damn, I didn't even know they still lived over there. So it's for me it's hard because I like to get information and numbers and stuff, and you really can't get that kind of stuff. You got to do a lot of leg work and looking around for stuff, and it can be frustrating. So I can see how for outside people who may not be in tune to any school, it can be a turnoff, and that's one of the reasons why people really attach themselves to JSU because it's easy. Everything is there for you. You find everything you need, you see everything you need, and you're good. So hopefully everybody else can kind of catch up.
Speaking of them, shout out to Shalomi Sanders for signing with JSU. Hopefully she can come in and contribute. I don't know how
Yeah,
much, but I'm sure that's exciting for Coach Prime, and that's just going to add more eyes to JSU athletics.
Yeah, I mean they got all the eyes all the eyes they need. Um, Top two coaches in the league. I I guess I don't know because I don't coach as a coach. I don't really consider Deion Sanders a great coach. As a everything else, I consider him a great coach. But um, I would throw Willie Simmons in that mix, and I mean I don't know because like I said, I kind of look at Deion Sanders a little bit differently. Over time maybe my thought process will change, but I don't. I mean, he's a coach. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't. I don't know. I kind of look at him a little bit differently. How you feel about that?
Yeah, I
Top two
mean,
coaches?
when you ask me about a coach, in that sense, are you asking me who's the best recruiter, who's the best X's and O's guy, who's the best talker? You know what I'm saying? So I guess for me, it had to be a more specific question. But I think I would have to throw. I think I would kind of throw. I think I judge coaches on how do they use what they have, and I think TSU coach has done a pretty good job, and I think Coach McNair does a pretty good job with what he has.
Yeah, I think like you said, if you're looking at making the most of what you got, then yeah, you gotta kind of throw Coach Dancy in that mix too.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's a guy that's really worked with nothing really. I mean, they got a couple guys here and there, but he makes the most out of what he has. Now, if you take a total package, then yeah, I'll throw Deion Sanders in there because he encompasses a hell of a recruiter. He's a
Yeah.
motivator. He's a spokesman for the program. He's everything. Now he still got to grow as an X's and O's guy, but that can come. But I guess like I say, it's just one of those things. Like what are you looking for? So you can you can pretty much throw almost anybody in the mix if you decide what kind of criteria you're looking at.
Right. And it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. You almost know who is not the best coaches. You know what I'm saying? But Rollins was just not a good coach.
Oh yeah,
When we talking
no,
decision making, clock management, all of that was poor.
yeah, and those are the kind of things that can wreck a team. Like you always said that he was the guy who just did not need to crash the car, and he drove it off the road. He the job was a little bit maybe too big for him, and he just made a lot of mistakes that got magnified.
How many football scholarships? I don't know any hardcore data on that, but
Yeah, I
it's
think
probably
it's
about
less than 40.
25. Yeah, probably about 25, 30.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
they don't they for a while they weren't able to play FBS games because they don't offer enough scholarships, so they they missing out on that money. Um, yeah, that issue with him and Skelton, man, that's something that I I've been over multiple times. Let me see what this. No, I hadn't heard of him really, but if he played at Peabody Magnet, then he's a very solid basketball player. Man, Peabody Magnet is one of the best schools in Louisiana. Uh, well coached program, so you're gonna get a hard working guy. I'm gonna try to find out a little bit more information on him, but I know where he come from. You can't ask for a better kid. It's a magnet school. He's gonna have good grades as well. So I think that as far as what I know about their program, you're getting a really solid guy, and they are state championship team. They're always in the playoffs. So you got a winner. So yeah, I think Rollins is an assistant guy who probably should have stayed an assistant, but you know, situation was out of his hands getting the job. So once he got it, I think he just did not handle it well.
I might throw Doc Gamble on that list too, but we'll give him 2 games into the season.
I don't know, man. He disappeared. I think once he left Southern, I hadn't even heard anything else about him. I saw him at the Legacy Bowl. That was the first time I saw him since the end of the season. So I don't know if he kind of just regrouping or trying to get, I don't know what his next move is gonna be.
Well, see, well, it look like I'm gonna have to get out of here.
All right. Well, DJ gonna
Good
hop
stuff.
off, man. I'll probably go a little bit longer, but um, won't you tell the people where you at and what you doing before you get up out of here?
Yeah, I'm attending a spring game here at the institution where I work, University of West Florida. Got some football players that are assigned to me. I'm the student success coach, so of course I gotta show my support. They've all asked, "Are you coming to the game? Are you coming to the game?" So I gotta be there for my guys, but I still wanted to get my SWAC smoke in at the same time.
So we definitely appreciate it. And one last question before you get out of here, Los J want to know: Are you hungry? Have you ate yet?
I ate before because I knew I was gonna be out here a while at this game, so I already took care of that.
All right. Well, we're gonna let you get on up out of here, man. I probably stay on a couple of minutes. If anybody want to throw anything out in the comments, we could talk a little bit more. Um, we'll catch you next week, DJ.
All right, y'all be good.
All right. So y'all got me for a little bit. I'm gonna hang out a little bit. I ain't got nowhere to go. I don't have a life. So if y'all got anything else y'all want to throw up in the comments, I'd be glad to chop it up with y'all a little bit more. We did get a comment here that Valley is at a full allotment of scholarships, so that's definitely a good look for them. I would just really like what Valley is doing right now. I think their division is very hard, so they probably won't the success won't really magnify in terms of wins or losses, but I think that Coach Dancy is doing a great job of building that program. And I don't know if you guys caught my show yesterday when I talked about hard jobs, but Valley is obviously a very tough place to coach. You have to really, kind of think outside the box, and success is not easy to come by. So the work that Coach Dance has been doing now, I think, has been really good. Um, yeah, I think for reasonably this season, I think Valley's non-conference schedule is definitely manageable. I think if they can get settled on a quarterback, I think they'll be great because they have one of the best running backs in the league that nobody really talks about, in Caleb Johnson. I really think a lot of people don't know who he is because he plays at Valley. I mean, if he played at anywhere else, I think he would really get a lot of attention. Um, so if they can come into conference play, with a solid episode, I mean, solid record, I think they could be a factor in SWAC play because they the schedule is pretty manageable. We appreciate the support, and make sure to continue to tune in. Uh, as far as I'm concerned, when you say as far as if you're talking about just growth, I think it just goes back to what we have been saying already today about just making sure you put your name out there, put your program out there, make yourself accessible to people. It was me and DJ was talking before we went on air today that a lot of schools don't get a lot of media coverage in their areas. I mean, everybody's in a different area. Some teams are in cities, some are not. But you need to have yourself visible. And I mean, it's a social media age. I mean, I hate to keep saying that, but when you look at a lot of schools, that's what you have to build your program through different ways now. So you need to kind of make yourself more accessible and continue to hit that portal. I think the portal is the key to growing these teams. You still want to recruit high school kids. You don't want to turn your back on that, but I think you need to know you need to have a solid plan on how you work the portal and how you recruit high school kids and continue to grow your program. And just think outside the box and do whatever you can do to get people to attend games because fan attendance has not been the best. I will say I think Grambling, FAMU, Southern, they had very very good turnouts at their spring games this weekend. Past weekend, I know Jess, you're gonna have a good turnout at theirs. If anybody, my TSU people, how was the turnout at the spring game if you went? And y'all make sure y'all hit that like button, please, and thank you. But you know, I'm excited for this upcoming season. Yes, stay out of APR. We caught a little bit of a break with that because of the COVID stuff. They kind of waived the APR stuff, but they're gonna slip that back in. So just make sure you take care of um take care of that. Keep your academics up to par. Um, I I was trying to figure that out before we came on air. I thought they had a really good crowd. If you was there, that I think it was what section 6 to section 9 was pretty full. So I would wager they had 3-4 thousand people there. Rough number, but I think that's a good turnout. I mean, Southern is they didn't charge anything, so they didn't keep track of attendance. But I thought they did a pretty good job with that. Yeah, you definitely got to build up basketball on women's side. Softball, I think, is growing, but you need to have those women's sports, develop. And I think you just have to continue to pour money into your programs as best as you can, and that means a lot of people have to start dipping into their pockets. I know a lot of people hate to hear that. We don't like to be told that we need to do things, but you really need to grow your athletic departments, man. You need to put the money in there as best as you can. Everybody can generate money one way or the other, you know, and it's really important because you're getting a lot of people who are older or not there anymore, or they won't be there in future years. So I think you really need to have that new base of people. So it's up to the middle group of people, like my age range, to kind of set the stage for the younger alumni that come out. And you just have to continue to grow, man. You got to put money in. I think each school has to decide what program they really want to pour money in. Everybody think football, but basketball and baseball are huge. Like Lawrence said, women's basketball and softball, those are sports that you can really make a name for yourself and be competitive in. So you really just need to kind of find that niche and make it work out for yourself. But just want to do a quick rundown. We got no spring games this weekend. I don't think anybody has a spring game this weekend. The last group of spring games are UAPB on Friday, April 22nd. You have Alabama State, Prairie View, and Bethune-Cookman on the 23rd, and Jackson State on ESPNU on Sunday, April 24th. And yeah, I mean, football is the money maker. You that's where you get your most money. With your FBS games, and that's just your biggest support auxiliary. So football is always going to be king, especially in the South. But anything else you can do to make your program more well rounded, I think it's always good. Yeah, I think this upcoming draft coming up, and I would be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to Misha Williams getting drafted in the WNBA draft. She's the first SWAC and HBCU player to be drafted since 2002. The last SWAC player that got drafted in 2002 was Jacqueline Winfield from Southern. So that's a 20-year gap of no SWAC HBCU players getting drafted. So I think that's a big thing. I think with the NFL draft coming up in a couple of weeks, we got a good opportunity to have a few guys get their names called. So I'm excited about the draft. I think if we can get 3 or 4 guys drafted, I think that's gonna set the stage for these upcoming classes that come out after this, because there's no reason that any of these guys should not get their names called. There's a lot of talent in the SWAC, and this year I think a lot of guys stepped up to the plate in the off season to make a good showing for themselves, to make that to make it tough. But you got to make it tough for them not to pick you. I think that's the key. You have to be able to make them teams second and third guess themselves if they don't pick you. So, guys like Marquise Bell, James Houston, Tyreek Carter, um, Akil Glass, Forbes from FAMU. Those are guys I think that really can make a difference. And I'm so excited about Amisha Williams getting drafted to Indiana. I'm a Southern person through and through, but I was just hyped, man, and I think that she can really put a spark in this team. And I'm honestly watch a couple of WNBA games because she's on that team. So I think that's just something I think that there's a big byproduct of that. Once everybody gets out of the league, gets away from the team that they play for and get into the professional ranks, it's really easy to root for everybody, man, because we all are in it together. So I'm definitely excited, man. And I saw Marquise Bell had a meeting with my Cowboys, so I would be enthusiastic if he went there, man. I don't want to hear y'all say anything about Dallas. We could say that for another time, but we all win, man. I know we talk a lot of trash back and forth, during the season and in the off season, but SWAC sports are a family, and that's something that's different from a lot of other leagues. We are a family. A lot of schools have family connections. I come from a family, Southern, Grambling, Jackson State, Alcorn. My dad went to Valley, so my niece went to Prairie View. I come from a SWAC family, so I always want to see everybody do good. So I think a lot of people feel the same. Oh yeah, I mean you always go for home first. Like I said, I'm a Jaguar through and through. But after that, then it's league pride after that. But when one in these kind of situations with drafts and professional ranks, when one team win, everybody wins. So I think that it's a good opportunity. We can get some people drafted in the NFL. I'll see what happens, man. We probably are doing this something while the draft is going on. I'm a NFL guy. I'm gonna be tuned in anyway, but I'm definitely gonna be trying to keep tabs and spreading whatever little information I get. So if you guys wanna, we can do a little something during the draft. I talk to DJ for sure, and we'll work it out. If not, then I'll probably be here because, like I said before, I don't have a life, so I'm always on the computer at some point. So I'd be glad to come through if you guys are here. But I think yeah, the CFL draft is gonna be important too, man. You got the CFL now, you got the USFL is about to kick off, and I guess the XFL is gonna do their thing. That's multiple avenues for guys to be in the pro ranks, and continue to play football. So, just because the NFL doesn't work, don't mean the door is closed. And I think that's the mentality that you have to have is take advantage of any opportunity because there were a few guys who came out of the XFL this past season and made NFL rosters. So having those other avenues and there are some SWAC connections in the USFL. So I think that'll go a long way of getting guys in there. And Canada is always a good opportunity, for guys to play some football. But I mean, like I said, I said it once, and I'm gonna say it again, man. I'm like super excited for the season. I really try to not get excited for football. I tried to go, basketball full speed, baseball and softball. Keep football in the back of my mind. But actually going to the spring game on Saturday kind of put that bug in me, and now I'm just ready for everything to happen, man. I'm ready to get in the stadium, get my tickets, and looking forward to traveling, man. I love road games. Like I said, I'm gonna be at the TSU Southern game for sure. Um, probably go to Jackson Southern and the Bayou Classic for sure. Maybe I could squeeze in a game at Alcorn, but I'm definitely ready, man. Football, it's one of those things that you live in the South, you understand. You can't get away from it even if you try, and I'm just ready. So hopefully, we have a good SWAC season. I think a lot of guys are gonna step up, and there's gonna be some surprise guys who get their names known. Um, some guys are gonna continue to grow their stars, and I mean everybody, everybody knows the big dogs right now. But I say this, um, I think TSU is the team to beat. Well, I'm not gonna say the team to beat, but if they can beat Prairie View and Southern at the beginning of the season, TSU is gonna be a very dangerous team for the West Division because to me, the West Division is very wide open. Um, when you get to that, depending on the opponent, I mean obviously you got to go with Jackson because they have the biggest stadium, but Alcorn can get loud when they pack it out. Southern can get loud. Um, Alabama State has an underrated atmosphere. I think a lot of people don't know about them. FAMU is a place that I don't know if you've never been to FAMU for a game, you need to get there for a game because they have a crazy atmosphere. They really are enthusiastic people. They turn out well, and they very loud. So, I I like those are some of the places I like to go. I'm a person that like to talk trash in the stands, so I love to be around other people. I can't speak for TSU, man. Y'all got y'all moments, but I I don't think y'all have enough of a fan base. But hey, it's a growing process. This team has a really good chance of being good, and I think if the team can be successful, people are gonna turn out. So if you can get a good crowd, that definitely can make it. But one of the things about that is Southern people love Houston. Let's just be real. Southern people love to go to Houston, so they're gonna turn out for that game. But the same people don't typically go to Itabena, so it's just one of those things. I thought Texas Southern, I thought they had their moments. So if everybody from TSU was like y'all TSU people in the chat, then y'all would be a force to be reckoned with. So I think it's gonna get better. Like I said, people sometimes have to be attracted to winning, and if this team can continue to get there, I think it's gonna be a key factor. So I think y'all gonna turn up for certain games, and I think it's gonna be a good season for you guys. I think y'all gonna get there. But like I said, I'm just one of those people, man. I just love to be in the atmosphere. I as far as playoff teams go, you kind of have to go with FAMU. I mean, if they can't get past J State, but they can have a season like they had last year, then I think they'll be a team that can get there. It's all about the matchups too. I didn't think Southeastern Louisiana was a good matchup for them. Their offense was very explosive, and FAMU's offense just couldn't get going. So I would I would I would pick them. I would say whoever loses the Orange Blossom Classic, um, I think that's probably going to be your at large team. Yeah, I like Valley, man. I think Valley's going to be they're going to be a team that's going to be a tough out. They're going to ruin some people's seasons, but that division is just the top two teams, FAMU, JSU, are going to be tough to beat. But that third spot, I think, is wide open. So if Valley can steal a couple games like they did last year, I think they could finish third. I don't think nobody got third on lock. So if they can put themselves in a position to win 6 or 7 games, that's a very, very successful season for them. Yeah, it's just sometimes people decide, they decide to stay home because you can watch it on TV. But to me, it's just not. It's just nothing better than than being there. And when you're in a city like Houston, obviously that's a big city. There's always a lot of things to do. Like Los J said, it stretch all the way out to PV now. So people gonna find a reason not to go places. You got to get them. You got to try to get them there the best way you can. Oh, I'm not gonna count Mena out at all, but I just need to see that team play because they're not gonna have kind of. I don't really think that offense is gonna fall totally off, but they're gonna take a couple steps back, and that defense is gonna have to step up. So that's why I feel like that spot is open now. They probably are the team who I would pick if I had to rank those teams right now. Then I probably would put them third. But I just think that spot is open if Ballet can steal a couple games here and there. So like I said, in the West is wide open. I don't think anybody is head and shoulders above anybody. I think everybody's got something to work out. But I think the West is going to be a battle. So you got a lot of big games early. I think Grambling going to be a wild card. Yeah, I mean Texas football high school obviously is huge. I mean they play in 20 25,000 seat stadiums. I just saw some school was building a $35 million stadium. It's tough to really compete against that kind of stuff. That's something that nobody else in the South really had to deal with. So it's a lot of factors that play into developing a fan base, and it's a lot of things that you have to overcome. And TSU is fighting some things that a lot of other people don't have to fight. But I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, man, and get on up out of here. Like I say, I just wanted to put in a little bit of extra time since DJ had to step out. But we'll be back next week, next Thursday, another live edition of SWAC Smoke. Sunday, I have a show coming up. I have no idea what I'm gonna talk about yet, but y'all make sure y'all catch that. Yeah, and that's a key factor. Games being played, you have to kind of make that choice. You want to see your kid play for sure. So, I think it's a lot of different things to cover, to compete against, and that it all starts with winning. If you can win, I think you got a better chance of getting some people out, and that's one of the things. So y'all, like I said, man, I'm gonna go ahead and get on up out of here, man. Y'all have a great Easter. Enjoy yourselves, and I'll see you guys on Sunday for my show. Make sure y'all hop back in here on Thursday. DJ will be back for a full show with us, and we'll catch y'all next week.